Welcome to episode 20 of Motivating Mondays, a weekly podcast and YouTube series dedicated to help Canadian job developers and other employer engagement professionals develop the tools, resources, expertise, and network to excel in achieving sustainable employment outcomes for their clients or students. My name is Christian St. Cyr, National Director of the Canadian Job Development Network, and today we're talking about how job developers and other employer engagement professionals have unique insights into the perspectives of local employers and how they can use these insights to build their teams and better support job seekers in achieving sustainable employment. Every day, job developers accumulate new insights into employer preferences, the current economic conditions, and the challenges of recruiting and maintaining a productive workforce. In fact, it's possible many job developers don't even realize how much information they are accumulating. How many times have you sat down with someone to prepare a resume and asked them for specific tasks and activities from a job that they are unable to come up with anything more than just the most basic information? When we do a job every day, we assume those tasks and activities are obvious, and we can't even necessarily articulate what they are. I believe employer insights are the same thing. Job developers have a wealth of information that they may not be thinking about. Because of their unique relationship with employers, job developers, co-op educators, and other employer engagement professionals are able to provide insights back to their team that can have a major impact on how successful our clients or students are in achieving employment outcomes. Understanding how employers think. I remember hosting a conference once, and a major tech employer said he would never hire someone who used a Hotmail email address. He felt it was extremely basic and spoke to a person's lack of technological sophistication. At that very same conference, another employer said he would never hire someone who uses Times New Roman as a font in their resume. As I write this, I'll note that I have a very simple Hotmail address for my personal email, but I would never put it in a resume. Henry Ford used to test executives he was going to hire. He would take them out to lunch, and if they put salt on their food before eating it, he felt that they made very poor decisions, and he would not hire them. Obviously, these are extreme examples, but how could a job seeker possibly know these things before applying for a job? If there is a lesson here, it's that employers feel strongly about lots of things that we may never guess or even understand. If a job developer considers themselves an employer biologist, observing employers in their natural habitat, they'll slowly accumulate many insights into the recruitment process that they may never have expected. One of the most valuable questions you can ask an employer that will frequently solicit answers like those about Hotmail or Times New Roman or SALT is just to ask employers about what candidates have done or typically do wrong when they apply for jobs. This way, when you have a candidate who applies for a job, you can tell them this employer is fanatical about customer service or courtesy or following directions and suggest that they act or respond accordingly. The unique role of job developers. While your daily interactions with employers may seem pretty commonplace, to your colleagues who spend much of their days coaching clients or students, it's a mystery world. You have a foot in each world. You know the expectations and approaches clients are taking, but you also have this special subject matter expertise that can only be acquired through the daily interaction with employers. Do employers prefer a 2-page resume or a single? Should a candidate apply online or in person? How should a candidate reflect their availability before applying for a job? While these insights are often associated with just one employer, you will inevitably see trends. Perhaps retail and hospitality employers typically prefer a 1-page resume, while those in administrative or technical roles typically prefer a 2-page resume. The challenge is that eventually this understanding becomes commonplace. We learn that employers will often disregard job applications that haven't been completely filled out. Your colleagues may intrinsically know this, or it may be news to them. And if you have insights that are surprising to other career professionals, how much more surprising would these insights be to job seekers? Supporting the team. Whether case managers, employment counselors, facilitators, or resource room advisors, whether people are, everyone on the team has a role in helping people prepare for effective job search. I remember a decade ago, more than a decade ago actually, it was all the rage to prepare portfolios, even for roles that had no aesthetic aspects to them at all. I'm a dental assistant, and here is my portfolio. During that period, I attended an employer panel discussion, and among the 10 employers present, every single one of them said that they were sick of getting portfolios from prospective job candidates. As career professionals, getting insights into employer expectations helps us develop practices that are truly effective. Job developers can help inform this practice by sharing insights during case conferencing or staff meetings. I would encourage career development organizations to have their job development staff organize regular training sessions for staff on topics such as employer expectations around resumes, applications, interviews, reference checks, and certainly job seeker conduct. This allows career professionals to go from the theoretical approach to job search, where perhaps portfolios are a nifty new trend, to the real-world practical application of job search methodology based on real employer insights. Supporting clients. Have you ever tried to teach your kids or a friend or your spouse about job search? Have they rejected your insights because your relationship with them is too close? I've had this experience a number of times, and yet the clients or students that you work with every day see tremendous value in your advice and insights. Employer insights are the secret weapon of job developers. When you are assisting someone, being able to use phrases like, well, most employers think, or I had a client who was able to get a job here, and these sorts of statements give you instant credibility with job seekers. Job seekers know you are communicating with employers every day, and if job search is primarily a hidden job market, you've got a secret pass. If you run a job club or some sort of job seeker networking group, here is a forum where you can share some of your most valuable insights. You can build them into a PowerPoint presentation or develop resource materials around them. And while this is tremendously valuable and benefits from continued refinement and improvements, some of your best insights will be shared with clients one-on-one. When you are coaching someone to improve their resume, complete a job application, or who's going into an interview, even if you can't speak to that specific employer, you can share sector insights. You can tell them things like, well, most hospitality employers will, or when applying for large corporations often, and provide insights based on the type of employer the person's going into. Like a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant, the longer you are a job developer or a co-op educator or an employer engagement specialist, the more insights you accumulate, the better you will be at informing your clients and your colleagues. Organizing resource areas. Resource centers are often organized along the lines of job search, career planning, education, training, and community resources. There may be self-employment resources, but they're often tailored to starting a business and not necessarily understanding business owners. Resource room staff would benefit from working with their employer engagement colleagues to establish an area in the resource center around employer expectations. This would include websites and online tools discussing the challenges and perspectives of employers. A job seeker who can speak to employer expectations in their resume, in their cover letter, job application, interview, or even in their thank you note is going to go a long way in establishing rapport and respect with an employer. Suggestions for facilitators. While many of the tools used in a resource center are going to be tools a facilitator wants to use, the benefit of instruction is going to be able to use that information in an effective manner. Facilitation allows us to practice interviewing, elevator pitches, and networking. And while these are done every day in employment centers across the country, how often do we think about what an employer will ask, how they will respond, or why they are asking a particular question in the first place? If a facilitator is organizing interview role-playing, for instance, it might be helpful to invite an employer in to observe. At the end of the session, the employer can share observations about what the mock interviewer did well, what they missed. They can also comment on what the job seeker did well and what they could have done better. It gives all of us insights from both perspectives. Reporting to funders. During the pandemic, funders such as Service Canada and the Provincial Employment Service branches were keen to learn as much as possible about employer trends. They want to know about whether they were using government supports, providing remote employment, utilizing new technologies, and most importantly, were they downsizing? They want to get a sense of how is the economy transitioning. In most career development organizations, it's normal to provide a monthly report or to meet with funders periodically. In this forum, it's critical to share insights about what local employers are doing that are unique to that moment or in the community. Employers will always be frustrated by the mismatch between the skills that people have and the skills that they need to hire for. But if job development staff are seeing emerging trends, such as the skills in certain types of new AI, this can be a great way of demonstrating you are on the pulse of employer needs. It also helps the organization demonstrate that they are responding to employer needs by creating programs and interventions that address those needs. Even program managers and directors will sometimes be detached from this sort of daily interaction with employers. So working closely with job developers in advance of preparing reports and meeting with funders is critical. This is just as valuable in advance of preparing applications for funding or responding to requests for proposals. Keeping the lines of communication open. While there is a multitude of formal ways job developers and other employer professionals can support their organization in formal ways, the greatest support they can provide is in everyday conversations and support. It's critical that organizations see their job developers as a powerful internal resource. They are the next best thing to having an employer in the room with them. This allows an employment counselor who may not have a lot of experience in a particular sector, such as IT or healthcare or trades, to seek out their job developer colleague and gain new insights and suggestions. Two of the most common areas of complaint among employers relate to resumes and interview performance. By gathering these complaints and reshaping them into suggestions, job developers can play a major role in helping their colleagues and their organizations provide real-world insights that are going to make a difference in whether someone gets the job or not. By the way, we've had fantastic interest in our online workshop, Developing a Comprehensive Approach to Job Development. It's taking place in 5 separate time zones, September 8th to 12th. If you haven't yet registered but want to take this training, we have a 20% early registration discount, but this ends on August 28th. If you'd like to know more, just go to jobdevelopment.org/pro-D. We're also still making great progress on our National Networking Day for Job Developers. That's taking place on September 19th. We still have room in communities for communities to join us, but we need to close the window on new communities on August 20th to give groups enough time to organize. We'd love it if you could join us, but if there isn't a session plan in your community, it's easy to organize one. To learn more, just go to jobdevelopment.org/sponsors. Thank you so much for joining us. Please click the like or subscribe button in your platform. Check us out wherever you download podcasts. We'd also love it if you could follow us on our YouTube channel and or rate or review this podcast. Now, we do these sessions live and for free every Monday morning with job developers from across Canada, and it would be great if you could join us just go to jobdevelopment.org to learn more. If you have any questions, send me an email at info@jobdevelopment.org. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I hope you have an amazing week.